Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Big Joel Show. Very excited. I have Ernie Carswell with Douglas Elliman Real Estate in California, Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, West Side. For those of you that know that market and all surrounding areas, in the studio with me this morning in Washington, D.C. And I've had Ernie in here before, and there was so much good stuff that I wanted to bring him back again because of the feedback we got from that first podcast. So welcome to DC, Ernie.
I'm glad to be here.
Is it hot enough for you?
You know what? I'm remembering what it was like to live in the South.
Yes, I was going to say Ernie's been in Los
goodness.
Angeles for 30 years, but he's really a South Carolina boy. So
I've become soft in California because we've got the perfect weather, Joel, which we're able to sell to you if you would like to
that's
buy.
exactly right. So Ernie's story, Ernie, just tell it real quick for those people that have not seen the other podcasts you got in the business. How long ago? I think you were in Texas, New York, LA.
That's right.
Tell everyone real quick.
Happy to do it. I started in Dallas, Texas in the mid-'80s. And then in the later part of the 80s, up to the 90 point, I became a Manhattan broker, moved to New York City. And then in 1990, moved to Los Angeles. And that's it. Not moving anymore.
34 years later.
That's right.
Exactly
That's
right.
the place to do it, in my perspective, at least.
That's exactly right. And for those of you that don't know who Ernie is one of the premier real estate brokers in Los Angeles. He is a big known name. If you want to list or buy a property, especially in what we would call luxury, which is amazing what that price point really is, luxury. And Ernie, I want to start with, because I'd like everyone to hear it, because you have such a great attitude, such a positive attitude. So I want to tell you, we're shooting this in the summer of 2024, no matter when you're watching this. And I have a huge audience, real estate agents. And, Ernie, this market is, I would pretty much call it brutal. I've been in this business for 34 years. And by the way, I'm 32, so y'all can work the magic. I got in when I was -2. But what you're looking at this market, what are you doing to grind through this? Because it's tough for everyone from Anchorage to Kansas City to Los Angeles. It doesn't matter. Don't pull my market's different. It's all the same. What are you doing to push through this?
Well, this is the market that is unifying in its devastation across our industry.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in a Mad Max movie or Armageddon, but it feels very Hollywood, tragic to me. But it's not a movie, it's reality. And it's also, to use another movie title, The Perfect Storm. Everything that could possibly be working against our residential real estate industry is working against us right now. So who's going to survive it, Joel? Only those who can survive, because they're going to dedicate themselves to work harder, work smarter. You've got to outwork your peers in the industry, because only the strong will survive this, not the half-hearted, not the agents that are lured because of the TV shows about our industry, which are really not reality. They're sort of a fantasy. I know all of those folks that are the stars of those shows, and they know me. A lot of times they ask me for my advice, in fact, about certain deal structures and the industry situations. But the reality that we're all in is, whether we're talking about lawsuits against our industry, and now there are courtroom settlements that are completely changing the contract structure for every agent in this nation, very confusing to the public. Of course, the media has headlines that are confusing and don't really tell the truth. And I'm not going to slam the media.
I think you're being nice right now. Don't really tell the truth. I think it's almost
misleading.
The reverse. No,
it's outright misleading.
Yeah,
I think they led with headlines like, the commissions will be coming down. Well, thank you, media. Are you going to decide our commissions, or are the clients, who are really the people we serve?
Who, by the way, they've always decided. That's the crazy part.
So all of that nonsense going on, but we know that the legal eagles that went after our industry went after tobacco and how they changed tobacco. I don't think residential real estate was the danger to health that maybe smoking
cigarettes
is.
are? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But we have been treated as such.
Right.
And so we're having to repair our reputation. Thank goodness for those like me who are veterans of the industry with 30 plus years of proof of service to our clients. We're going to be okay. But it's hard. We've had to put on battle gear to just maintain our posture, keep the troops that I lead and guide, encouraged that we can make it through this, but not everyone will. I think there are those situations in wartime that generals have said, sons, look to your left, look to your right. Some of you won't be here.
And the numbers are, it's over 30% of actively licensed agents have already handed their license in over the last 18 months.
Yeah.
And that's an astoundingly big number. Ernie, I want you to share, it's important, I think, for a lot of people to hear, with technology. Obviously, when I mean technology, I mean emailing and texting and TikTok and all of these things and social media, because you're a master at this. And it's interesting, all my guests today are a master at this, and that's why they're a master of their craft, is picking up the phone and connecting and not, gauging. So many people gauge their how they do. Oh, I got that done in 7 minutes. I got that done in 9 minutes. And the best agents are, are on the phone from 8:30 to 8:50. Now, and by the way, everyone, I'm not saying you have to work 100 hours a week. That is not what I'm saying right now. But they're not scared to be on that phone call as long as they need to be on there to make everything okay. And that's a tiny sliver of agents that are doing that. They're, I called them. You didn't call them. You texted them. You did not call. You texted. And this is a grinding, horrible market with all kinds of things going on. And if you think you're getting that done by texting it, you've lost your marbles. And it's something, since I've met you, I've always seen you very committed to that customer service aspect, that yes, you use technology. Of course you do. You have to use technology, but use it when you're supposed to use it. You're not using it in lieu of that relationship. And I love to just hear your thoughts on that connection and on that. Even though it's the end of the day, you got up at 4:45, because I talked to you at 5, so I know you were up. You went to some Bulgarian trainer who gave you a beat down for an hour.
Oh, he did.
You've been doing things for forever, all day. Now it's 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night, and you're rounding the bend to go home and thinking about what maybe you're going to eat for dinner, and boom, you're right back on the phone. And just the wherewithal, the grinding to just kind of put that flak jacket on and just do it. Share that with everyone. People need to hear that you have to do that to succeed in this market. It's not, I'll call you in 2 days. It's not a text.
You've given me some good things to mention, Joel. First of all, technology, I believe, for my industry, residential real estate, is for touch points. It's not for true communication. You're not corresponding with someone when you're texting them or even emailing. It's a face-to-face market that needs and requires that level of direct communication between a real estate agent and their client or their potential client. That's just going to get you there now. This is not going to be for quickies. Faster is not better. In almost anything, just give me 20 topics and I'll say faster, not better. Filling out your income tax, sex, whatever. Faster is not better, okay? I think we got that point. But agents that think this is a fast game are going to miss out right now. They're going to be left behind being fast. Don't we know the story about the tortoise and the hare? Who wins? It's not the fast rabbit.
Right.
It's the tortoise.
It's amazing how some of that old school stuff is right on, right?
Comes through.
Yeah.
The other thing that's very important to recognize is that the quality of communication is so important. Trustworthiness, building rapport, staying in touch directly, and showing the care and concern that someone in my position as an agent in the service of their client's best interest, only we can provide that. I went to see a doctor this last week in LA, and we're going to be talking about some sort of minimal procedure to do. It was very important to me. The doctor I met before him does it with robotics. And that's kind of cool in this world of AI and all of this medical technology coming out. The doctor I have chosen is not using robotics. He's using his hands, and he's the #1 in the nation for doing this procedure. But I want the guy who's going to be using his hands with me, not a robot. I'm sorry. This is my health. This is my,
But I mean, you could. I mean, it falls right into, what are the 3 most stressful things in life? Death of a family member, divorce, buying or selling a house. This is a very stressful experience, and nobody wants to talk to a robot or talk to a text message in the middle of that. That's right.
And you know what they want? They want a person in my position who cares. And the problem that agents have crept into the public consciousness is that we don't care. Maybe it has something to do with some real estate shows out there. We don't care. We only care about ourselves and our money and our outfits and our fast cars and our bling, okay? I'm so sorry for that being put out into the public consciousness, because that does not represent those like me and my team in Beverly Hills. We truly care for the individual clients, and we deliver that level of service, and they notice the difference.
So let's talk about that just a little bit. Get a little granular. Why do I want to list with you? Why do I want to put my property in your care to sell it in this type of, I'll just use the word, brutal market?
Right.
Why?
Well, it depends on the quality of questions you might ask me, but I can guide a potential client through questioning me correctly, because all promises given by other people they may be speaking to may not come true. And so a lot of times when an agent is being interviewed and the client doesn't know that agent, but they may have seen them on TV or they may have read about us in the newspaper, they're just trying to dumb it down and see what's the highest price this agent will quote for their property and what's the lowest cost to them. I understand that game. I'm a consumer myself. I want to pay the least I can for almost anything I buy, but I buy quality. And the same thing is true when you're looking at someone who's a service giver. Look at our reputation of consistent service. How many repeat clientele does an agent like me have compared to the Johnny-come-latelys? Why do people return to me?
We call that the one and dones.
That's right.
Thanks for my paycheck, bye.
Right. I just had a situation in Beverly Hills this last week where I had a client who decided to go with a brighter, flashy object on the horizon that was making all kind of false promises. And I warned them that promise is not going to come true. I was right. And sure enough, the house went at a $10 million loss of what it could have gone with offers I had presented to this same client. He called me yesterday, the client did, to basically apologize and say, I should have listened to you, Ernie, because you were telling the truth. And that's how I guide my team of 25.
So are you not scared, and I want people to hear this, because the best people, again, I'm a very blessed guy. I only really work with the best people. You're one of them.
Thank you.
And the best people are not scared to just stand up and walk away. To say, you know what? I'm not going to cave on that. What you're saying is not true. I realize maybe a couple other people told you that, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you the same thing so I can do business with you because it's not right. I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk away. And
Right.
Very few agents will do that because they're calculating their commission, and they're thinking, "Oh, I can't walk away from this." But the best people are like, "No, I'm walking away from a potential nightmare. Like this is not going to go good. I'm not going to tell them what they want to hear. I'm going to tell them what they need to hear, and I'm not going to care even if I lose the business about it." And that's a special agent, but all the top people, the tippy top people, all roll like that.
Yeah. I'm caught in a little bit of a conflict there because I like rising to a challenge.
Yeah. I'm trying to get them to yeah, but it's one thing. Well, Ernie, if they agree with you, if you're able to explain it, they agree with you, it's the same thing. I'm talking about a scenario where someone says, "Oh no, it's going to be X," and you're sitting there going, it's never going to be X ever. It's always going to be Y. You know, there's no way, and I'm not doing this.
Right.
at
No,
X.
I have exercised that power. Look, it's
Yeah.
my personal business. I can walk away and I can choose to work with whomever I want to.
Right.
But I am attracted to the challenging personality. And I do have the reputation in my city of having clients who are more challenging than the others. But
They want
I'm
the
not
Southern
afraid of
gentleman.
that. Exactly. You know, and I try to remain such. But I don't mind a challenge because
So would you say your big differentiator, Ernie, for you, if people are choosing, you know, you and I have had these discussions a lot when we first met, actually, because I wanted to understand the market more. Right. And you had explained to me, hey, Joel, there's 8 or 9 of us that all sort of roll, or maybe you said 12, I don't remember. You were giving me the names. Right. We all kind of roll in the same. It would be very normal for 3 of us to go on the same listing appointment. We're all the same. Why do when someone chooses you, why are they choosing you over, you know, why are they choosing you? I think I know the answer, but I'd love to hear what your answer is. When you're going in right in between or right behind 2 really good agents in your market that know a lot, you know, and know a lot about the market, why do they choose Ernie Carswell?
Difficult to talk about oneself, but I will.
You're allowed.
I will be bold, and
I'm giving you permission.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be bold and step forward to say authenticity. I'm authentic. I'm real, and I know how to demonstrate my capacity for care for the individual. And I tell them during my meetings, every property I represent is like a marriage to me. For better or for worse, I will see this through with you. We're going to win. And I dedicate that to them. Other agents may not be that dedicated, but they may convince a potential client of other things. You know, I'll get you the highest price, or I've got the most TV exposure, or, you know, we're going to throw a big party for you and serve champagne.
Right.
All of that nonsense, which doesn't sell the house, and it surely doesn't commit to the client. This is back to what we said a few minutes ago. This is a personal relationship business. Sure, we're selling a product, a house, just like a ring or a car or a boat. It's a product, but it's their home. And if they're not living in it,
big difference.
It's still their investment.
Right.
And I don't know anyone that owns property, even if they don't live in it, that doesn't care about it as the most precious investment they have. Real property is, I got to tell you, it's gold. Yeah. It only is going up in value over our lifetime. It's an irreplaceable commodity because they're not going to be making any more planet Earth, as far as we know, until we colonize Mars. So this is a great asset to have. And I take it to heart with people because I really do care. And
so let's pivot off that because I always tell people, young people, I tell anyone what a great career real estate is. I tell everyone, it's just, you know, if you do it right, I call it the hardest, easiest job. A lot of people think it's the easiest job, then they make it the hardest job because they don't do it the right way. But if you do it right, it's the hardest, easiest job. You know, if you love what you're doing. And I constantly tell people, you know, whether the young people or people, you know, like I was just talking with Kendra about, she's a career switch, you know, or a career switch person. That's not a young necessarily person, but young in their career, it's a career switch. What types of things, for those of you that, you know, don't know a lot about Ernie, or maybe you're Googling him right now or whatever, Ernie does have a team, but he has a unique team. Ernie's team is not for you agents watching right now, it's not a traditional team where you've got a whole bunch of people in cubbies getting fed leads on a extremely low split, and you know the real job of the team lead is just to hire new agents that then the good ones leave and the bad ones stay and you got to fire them type of thing. Ernie is constantly looking either for people he could develop or experienced agents. It's a different type of team. It's a little bit almost like a company within a company. You're just running Carswell Real Estate, you know, within Douglas Elliman on Douglas Elliman's engine. Little different. But you know what? Tell me a little bit. There's lots of agents watching this right now that are struggling. They don't know what to do. They're, you know, in some type of vicious circle of crap of doing nothing, busy sitting around doing nothing, or they're following these other agents around doing kind of bad ideas all over the place. They're doing everything what they should be doing. What is it that you really like about mentoring an agent that you're bringing along? If someone were to join your team, whether they were experienced and they wanted to join your team because, let's be honest, when they go on that listing appointment, they take you with them or it says Carswell Associates, they're going to have a much better shot of getting it. That's for an experienced agent, or a newer agent that wants to be mentored and taught. What are some things that you do? What are things that you think should be done when you're mentoring agents? Yeah, it's a very broad question, and you can sort of take it anywhere you want. But you're good at this, and I think it would be good for people to hear. I don't care whether they're in Kansas City or Anchorage or whatever. It has nothing to do with Los Angeles at all. It just has to do with exposing, teaching, getting someone going, in the real estate business, no matter what market you're in. I'm very broad, so you can go anywhere you want with it.
My team, and I should say our team, it may have my name, but it's not a team just me by myself. It's
Right.
Ernie Carswell and Associates. And I share that brand with my team agents and employed staff. We seek career growth for each agent on the team. That's my goal and my intent for bringing any agent aboard. Even if they're already experienced, it's further career growth. Look, I'm very impressed when an agent comes to me and they've already done a number of deals and they want to keep going or they're attracted to our brand.
Interviewed some very good ones.
Absolutely,
right?
some
Yeah.
really impressive talent.
Yeah.
So that's fine, and we're going to blow them up further, in our principled ethics manner. For an ingenue coming into our business, a new recruit, they're just getting their license. I love that transition, coming in just totally green into the most difficult market in our lifetime. I told you,
Arguably said a difficult business.
I told you I like rising to a challenge. So I'm not afraid of a brand new agent who's wet behind the ears, but has all the stuff that I have determined they will see this difficulty through.
The stuff?
Exactly.
I'm not going to let you get away with it. You got to tell them what the
I'm
stuff
going to tell
is.
you. I'm going to tell you it all. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you. So the ones that are looking for a free lunch, knock on another door. We don't hand out free lunches, as you said a few moments ago. That's not what my team's about. Come in, take a low split, and then we're going to give you 20 people to call because they came in on our website. You know what? There are agents that work in our city like that, or teams. Go to them and be one of 50 agents and see how you make it. Then come
Maybe you will, maybe you won't.
yeah.
That's
So
right.
that's not what we do. No free lunch at the Carswell and Associates. What you do get, it's back to caring. You get a team leader, team captain, Ernie Carswell, who's going to care about your career growth, care about how you go to the next step, whether you are brand new, and we're going to make sure you get all the education you need. Douglas Elliman has a great training program. Thank goodness for my company that's behind us, saluting them. But beyond that, technical education and seminar, webinar,
How to write a contract.
basic, exactly, the basic fundamentals. You're going to learn the nuances from me and from the colleagues on my team because they're already nuanced. We speak a certain way with our clients. We behave a certain way. We are recognizably different in the Beverly Hills milieu of agents that you could select to work for or could hire and retain. And that's what I require for anyone to stay on my team. You must be recognizably different and above the cut. We're not average. We are well above average in ethics, principles, fairness, care, capacity. That's who we are. And that's who we want to attract. Only those.
And the other difference is from an outside, meaning from me watching, is where I see a lot of Ernie Carswells, their attitude is, I've already spent my time in the dirt, so I'm not going to go in the dirt anymore. Right. And that is a differentiator with you, where I'm watching you in the dirt. And what I mean by that is, let's go. We're going on broker tour. Get in my car. We're all going together. Whereas someone at your level, stature, is not necessarily doing that. Right. You know what I mean? Or maybe you're going by yourself, maybe, but you're not bringing a whole gaggle, with you. You're not bringing all your people with you. You're not, at a moment's notice, as long as you know about it, you could fit it in. Ernie, will you come with me here? Yes, I will. You know, you're not scared to let them, not coach them after the fact. You're not scared to do what I call, on-site coaching is, okay, let's go. Let's go do this together. You can watch me do this. You know what I mean? Which is very different and creates different type of people. And I know you require grit. I know you require, if you're working at, 8 o'clock on Friday and you're working on a deal with someone or whatever, they better pick the phone up, correct? There's not a, oh, I'm not working now at 6 and you are, you know what I mean? Meaning you want people that want to make this a career, correct? You're not looking for part-time, I'm going to list 2 houses a year and be done, right?
I believe it's the best career anyone can have, truly. And so I expect agents on my team to believe the same thing and to demonstrate it by their complete dedication. Sure, we need time off. And this market we're currently working requires more work time from agents, even veterans like myself.
Way more. Yeah.
We are working. Only the hardworking are going to survive these difficult times, right? In this terrible watershed year we're having. But and I know out there in the world of psychology, it's important to have balance. And I believe in the premise of balance, but balance was good for me last year. This is the year I can't be balanced, and neither can anyone working for me. It is 16-hour days, folks. Oh, you're not going to make it to the finish line. And we'll get back to balance because it's important to take some time off. The misnomer that a lot of agents coming into this business have, many of them just watching those shows, they think that we have all this free time, okay? That's not a career. That's not a job. That's something else. That's a figment of imagination.
These guys that write these books, and if you're the author of the book, I'll apologize right now. The 4-hour work week. Well, find me someone that works 4 hours a week that didn't work 80 hours a week for I don't know how long, doesn't have a trust fund, inherit the money. I mean, it's just false. Right. There's no, it just doesn't happen like that. There's no way. And in this market, you will get your ass handed to you if you're not working hard. Meaning your competitor is going to take that listing right from you. It's going to be gone.
Exactly.
In a second.
Yeah. And so I have to put in those extra hours, but the agents that work under me, if I don't see that they're willing to do that, whether they have a trust fund or not, you know what? It's not going to go well. It's not going to go well because these are the times that require all in, folks, all in. And fortunately, touch wood, everybody under my banner is all in. And I'm talking with them right now. I'm having reviews with every agent on the team that have been with me, no matter how long. I've got some great veterans that have been with me for years. Others just, this year. I'm speaking to every one of them about their dedication and saying, why are you willing to keep going in a year like this? And I'm loving the answers I'm getting from my agents. I'm touched by it because they are dedicated and they're striving.
Well, you got some good grinders. You got some people that are not going to throw the towel in. They're going to work through. And if you do it, I mean, listen, billionaires are made in down markets. That's how it works.
Good point.
And we are in a very down market right now. And this is where the strong survive. And the prepared, the strong, the technically proficient, the grinder, the person not scared to return that phone call 98 out of 100 agents have that phone call coming in at 8:20 at night when they've just worked 16 hours and there's dinner on the table, and they'll say, I'll call them back in the morning. And then there's the other 2%, which you're in, which pull the car over to the curb in front of your house and return the call. Or maybe walk in the house on the phone, but knock it out, so it's done. And a lot of agents they're living. I mean, we went through, Ernie, you went through this, so 2021, I think was a bigger year than 05 or right up to the run up.
Boom.
It was boom. I mean, it was almost, I make this joke all the time, and sometimes I offend agents by saying, if you didn't sell a bunch of houses, I mean, you just literally suck. I mean, you weren't working. I mean, you could stand on a corner and say, I got houses, 3% interest rate, anyone? And people would just pull over and go, show me a house. I mean, it was complete insanity for those of us that have been through many markets from the 90s all the way through. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Once the whole COVID little scare was over and people left their houses, it was insane what was going on. And there are agents today, 3 years later, that are still just waiting for that again. And I'm like, man, you're going to be waiting a long time. You may as well go over to the Kia dealership and get a job selling cars because you're, or whatever car dealership, it doesn't matter. It's not what you think is coming back is not coming back.
Let me say it's official now. The statistic is out. This is the worst residential real estate market on record in Los Angeles. Our previous worst market, which we've just beaten, the pants off, was 09.
Yeah.
And I worked that market, the meltdown, the stock market meltdown of 2008, and how it just, real estate values in Beverly Hills dropped 40% in 6 months. That is a cliff drop. Okay?
Yeah.
We don't have the price drop going on because we have inventory problems. So fortunately for my property owners, values are holding somewhat, okay? So there's not the price drop. There's just a dearth of activity. Volume is almost 40% down across the board. In fact, this statistic is not only accurate for LA, it's for Southern California, which has been for decades the golden boy of residential value in this nation, okay? The most expensive values and the most active markets. Usually the moneymaker for every national firm is their California broker offices. Not now.
LA, Orange, San Diego.
That's right.
Boom, boom, boom.
So what does that require? That's why people like me who could sit back because I've already had a certain amount of success in my 3 decades. No, not going to make it in this market. I am at much more attention than even 21 required when we were booming and we could close our eyes and 3 homes would have sold before the morning. This is requiring me to work 14 to 16-hour days. And I know what's coming, though, on the other side of this.
Ernie,
it always does.
38 million millennials that have stated if they could buy right now, they would.
Right. It's going to happen.
And that is a lot of people. And, if you're a consumer and you're watching this because you found me somewhere and you're sitting around waiting for prices to drop because someone told you that was what was going to happen, you need to grab a macroeconomics book. That's Economics 101 that you take as a freshman in college, whether you went to college or not, and read how that works with supply and demand. Yeah. And I can tell you, when the rates drop a little bit, those values are not coming down, they are going up because there's going to be more people wanting that house. So if you're literally counting on that happening, I truly feel, maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I don't think so, that you're going to just end up paying more for that house.
Right. This is the market.
Do you agree with that?
This is the market to get a very good bargain in real estate and residential.
100%. Right. And the market, people, they make, the media loves telling lies all the time. The prices are dropping here. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Did the price really drop, or was that house overpriced the minute the agent listed it? Is it really falling? Well, wait a second. It's still up 32% from whatever you bought it for. Right. Oh, it should be up 40%. No, it shouldn't. That's insane. So are the prices really dropping, or are we just correcting, honestly, to aggressive agents that price that house too high? And in almost every case, that is the answer right there. It's not that prices are falling. It's that the house was priced wrong. They just didn't price it right.
So here's the statistic to really confuse the issue. It just came out. Southern California home prices have risen 5% year over year. Risen. They've gone up. However, activity has dropped. So to your point, Joel, the big bargain deals you're seeing in the newspapers, in our area, it's all celebrities, J-Lo and Ben
right.
selling and this and that,
right.
Whoever, football stars
right.
and this and that, and movie stars. But so there are big price gaps between what the property was listed at, where it's selling. And so the media and the public think, oh, look, prices are falling. No. That was just artificially high pricing to start
100%.
With. It was ridiculously priced high, and it came down to the market price. But it gives the impression that, prices are falling because the headlines say it was listed at $68 million and just sold at $50. Well, it was worth $50. it was never worth 68 or 70.
Ever. So as we wrap up, Ernie, tell people a little bit, you're talking about working and how you work. Tell people what you do to keep your head straight, things you do. I mean, obviously, I know you religiously work out. I know you like to walk. I know you like to get up early so you can get things done. But share a little bit with people. Just everyone is having the same type of challenges with keeping their mental acuity going. Everyone does, to just keep it straight in a market like this as an agent having to work those kind of hours.
If I have downtime, and when I choose to have downtime, I like to do personal things such as active work in my yard.
Yeah.
Okay, yard work.
Just
I wash
mindless stuff.
clipping the hedges,
Right.
pulling weeds, whatever.
Right.
Even though I have a gardener that does
Yeah.
it, I don't care. I feel good when I'm out digging in the soil.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding for me. But I also believe that this is the time to garden relationships. One of the best things to do in off time is to be with others that you care about. And if you're in real estate, sometimes socialize with other real estate agents.
So don't sit and have a pity party for yourself.
Heck no.
By the way, a lot of people doing that right now.
Heck no,
Yeah.
don't do that. Congregate with people you like. If you don't want to do it with people in the business that you're in, do it with your neighbors, do it with friends that you haven't seen in a while. Togetherness is important.
So I want to paraphrase that. Do not sit and have a pity party for yourself.
No.
Get out and be social.
Look, if someone's lonely, and I'm sad when someone tells me they're lonely or they don't have anyone, figure it out. You can fix that loneliness. It may be an outreach that you have to make to ask someone to walk with you.
How often do you work out?
I work out with a professional trainer 3 days of the week, and then I work out myself 3 other days.
And
that's
normally
active
that's
cardio.
vigorous walk, right?
Yeah, like 3 miles, 3.5 miles of strong walking and incline walking.
Yeah, that's great, and that keeps your that keeps your head straight.
It brings some
Keeps your head
balance.
straight.
Brings some balance to the mind.
Yeah.
Getting some physical activity. But usually, while I'm doing anything physical, even with my trainer, I've got weights over my head. The barbells are up there, and I'm going to push them one more time.
Right.
I'd be doggone if I'm not thinking about a deal or something. The business is still pushing in.
If I'm watching this and I am in LA, in Southern California, and I'm interested in maybe potentially working with you, is that just to reach out direct to you and to set something up where you could, because there'll be some people watching this that are liking what you're saying.
I would love that. Just you can Google my name, contact me through email, call the office. I'm very reachable. I have people that make sure you reach me.
You pick the phone up.
I actually do.
So I just want to say thank you so much for spending some time with me today. This is Ernie Carswell with Douglas Elliman coming in hot here out of Beverly Hills, but really we'll call it West Side, all around Los Angeles. And thank you so much for tuning in to another awesome episode of The Big Joel Show. Thank you.
Thanks, Joel.